Sorry, I was taking a nap. It's nap time. It's definitely nap time. So, let's see. As you're watching this video, I will be in Japan. I will have sold somewhere between $1 and $5,000 worth of things that I brought with me, and my wife and I will now be gallivanting around the Japan countryside, touring things and probably eating too much food and spending way too much time in 7-Eleven convenience stores because, god damn, Japanese 7-Elevens, holy crap. 7-Eleven in America, please do whatever Japan is doing, just like copy, paste, and we're good to go. Like, that's all we need. Although, keep the taquitos. Those taquitos are awesome. Shout out to Caleb Hammer. I know you hate the taquitos, bro, but like, taquitos, man. They're so good. So yeah, that's a good time though. So I'll be in Japan when this is out. We have a lot of fun stuff going on. The wife and I are going to be traveling around the countryside over there. It's our honeymoon. We're going to be having a real blast when we're over here. The fun stuff that I'm going to be doing while I'm there, I'm going to try and record some short videos and stuff while I'm actually in Osaka proper. I'll have a Flesh and Blood video coming out for all that stuff. That'll be fun. I also technically have the content from a Collecticon video. I might actually push that out too next week. I'll do that. Yeah, that'll be good. I like that. That's a good idea. I'm also going to push out now's not the time to be quiet about Flesh and Blood. Because, I mean, let's be honest, guys. I have a lot of money in Flesh and Blood. And you know what? Let's turn this into a Flesh and Blood video. Let's get that 2,700 downvote button going. Like, 69 that button so hard, like, your mom doesn't even know what's happening anymore. Like, that's our goal with that downvote button. Make it so downvoted, the button literally doesn't work anymore. So let's have a serious talk about Flesh and Blood. So, alpha cases are now in the 6,000 to 7,000 range. I bought one 2 years ago? Wow, 2 years? Is it 2 years ago now? 2 years ago, I think I paid like almost 17 for the one I picked up, right? I was super excited about it. I was like, I had to have it. Like, I was in a rush. And that's a valuable lesson, right? Like, don't rush into things. You don't have to rush. Unless it's a one-of-one asset, don't rush. You don't need to be like scrambling like a mad lad to get whatever it is you want, right? Valuable lesson. I bit me in the ass. Just be patient. Be patient. Play the patience game. You'll be okay. It will come. A little bit of effort, a little bit of time. Be patient. But alpha cases are now $6,000 to $7,000. We have this beautiful scenario here where alpha boxes are effectively, call it $1,500 a piece. You can open 2 non-foil Majestics, 4 super rares. That's about, depending on which ones you hit, between $100 and $500, because you can hit an E-Strike for about $140-ish. Toma Findall's like 30 to 50-ish. Then the rest of them are all 30 to 50 bucks, give or take, depending on the card. So, you have easily, and then the super rares are the same thing. You have like most super rares are between like 10 and 20 bucks. So you have like $150, $200, and on the low end, upwards of like $500 to $700 if you hit really well. If you hit like the E-Strike, if you hit like the, oh man, what's the super crazy super rare that everyone wants? Ancestral Harmony, Path to Ancestry, Pursuit. No, that's Pursuit of Knowledge is in Arcane Rising. I don't know. There's a couple of super rares in alpha that are pretty decent. They're like 20, 30 bucks. I think the ninja one's like pretty decent. But again though, like you hit 4 of these things, even at 10 bucks a piece, 40 bucks, 2 Majestics, call it 40 bucks a piece. You're $120 right there. And then you have all your foils at 3 to 5 bucks a piece. You have 24 of those. Your cold foils like $100. Like, you have this like really interesting scenario now where even a crappy box, you're recovering 40 to 50% of your money off of just foils and the big hits. That's not even counting all the $1, $2 non-foil commons you'll have. There's probably close to $600 in commons and rares in non-foils. Because, I mean, people still pay 50 cents to $1 for a pink, for just a generic pink. You have all your other random like blues and yellows. You sell those off at a quarter to 50 cents a piece to someone in like a big bulk buy. I'm sure there's someone out there where if you're like, hey, I have 1,000 unplucked, bruh, cat, what are you doing? Cat, I'm trying to have a serious video here. Thank you for committing to the jump finally, buddy. You have this scenario now where you have a token, you have 11 commons, you have 2 rares, and then you have something spicy like a foil or some other shenanigans going on. And 15 cards times 24, 360 cards in a box. So even at $1 a piece, averaged out for the bulk and stuff, removing so you have 320 cards left-ish. That's $320 on top of the other $300 or $400. All of a sudden, just like the worst nightmare scenario, you're looking at like $600-700, like on the absolute worst scenario, like worst case scenario. And like when you're talking like vintage product, like that's actually really good. Like if you look at what the actual EV is on like an Alliances box in Magic, or like a revised box in Magic, a revised box in Magic costs like $7,000 to $8,000. There's 36 rares in there, which means you're going to hit like 1 to 3 dual lands, which is about $1,200, $1,500. Then the rest of the rares, Wheel of Fortune, maybe. Like if you hit all the good, like all the good, $3-4 grand, maybe. Like 50%. That's if you hit like max value. Now, if you go look at a Flesh and Blood box, Alpha box, I keep using this example here, $1,500. Let's say you hit a Cold Foil Legendary. You make money on the box now. Okay. I'm here. I'm catching what you're drifting. Let's do some math here, right? You have 3 Cold Foil Commons in an Alpha case, right? You don't always hit a Legendary. It's like 90% of the time you do. But, 90%, we'll assume, law of averages here, you're doing decent. $1,000. Plus 3 Cold Foil Commons at $100 a pop. That's $1,300. You also have $1,200 in bulk. That is $2,500. We're already at like 50%. Then you have your 8 Majestics. Call another $300-400. You're at what, $3,200 ish. And now you have 100 foils at $3 a pop. Now you're talking like $3,400. And that's not even assuming, oh, that's right, but we have a sealed case, so you're going to hit a foil Majestic too. That's another $300 to $400. Now you're at like $3,900. And we're not even talking like grading anything out here. Like this is just raw. We're pushing like 70-80% EV on an Alpha case right now. Like that's a little interesting to me. And Arcane is even closer to being money mode. And Crew at $1,000 is also pretty profitable. Like, it's kind of interesting, right? Like, you have about 30 Majestics you're going to hit in a Crew case at $10 a piece. Averaged out, $5-10, something like that. The cash-ins, the rares, all your foils you're going to hit. Then you got to factor in your cold foils. You got $200-300 in cold foil rares, $75, $50, $25, etc. They're pretty wide range on those. And then you have your Majestics in Crew, which are anywhere between $150 to $350, depending on how playable they are. And I'm going to be honest, in Crew, there's a lot of cases where you hit 2 and 3 Majestics in there. There's also these magical cards in Crew called EA Twinning Blade, Shyana, Diamond Gemini, and the Arknight Shard. And if you hit any of those 3, you just automatically make money on the case. And, Shyana's like, 1 in 20, 1 in 25 cases. The Twinning Blade, 1 in 20, 1 in 30 cases, somewhere in there. Shard's like 1 in 30 boxes. Sorry, not cases, boxes. So, there's already, like, you're entering a world where now, like, 3 out of 40 boxes, or out of 10, let's call this 10 cases, right? Like, 3 out of 10 cases, you just auto-win because you have a good chance of hitting a Shyana, an EA Twinning Blade, or a Shard. So now you have a 30% chance on Crew to just win, which is interesting. Which is very, very interesting. You can take $10,000 and open up Crew, and you're going to get about $3 grand in cards because of 3 cards. And you might hit 2 Twinning Blades in those 10 cases. You might hit multiple. And then you have all of your EA Majestics. And then you have all your gradable cards. Then you have all your cold foil rares. And then you have all your Majestics on top of that. And it becomes very, very interesting because now you start hitting a plus EV scenario on these boxes. In my opinion, if Alpha hits $5,000 a case, your EV is inverted. There is too much room on the upside at $5 grand a case that it becomes dumb. Like you literally don't lose money opening up alpha at $5,000 a case. Like that's where it gets into. Like it becomes so cheap now that people like me, Saint, other people, we're just gonna start opening it because it's so cheap. Like we don't really lose money anymore, and I'm okay just eating an L on it because I'll write it off against my profits on the year and just sit on the singles. It's fine. And you have this scenario that gets built out where more people start doing this, and it becomes interesting. And Arcane Rising, if Arcane Rising cases get anything near $2,500, $2,200, anywhere near there, those are inverted on EV too, because again, your upside is too high. Crew cases, like they're the closest to being inverted right now. Like if you're like, they're already a little dumb at $1,000. Like if you can pick up a crew case at $1,000, like it's hard to get truly wrecked. Like you're on a bad day, you'll open up like $700 to $800 in cards out of a crew case. Like that's a bad day. Like bad Majestics, bad rares, bad cold foils, bad cold foil Majestics. Like you're going to take a small loss. And then 3 out of 10 cases, you just win because EA twinning, Shyanas, shards. And then there's also, being honest, there's cases of crew that have 2 shards and 2 Shyanas, or shard and Shyana. I've seen them multiple times. Like it literally happens. So there's that world too where you enter into where you just start getting massive inverted on EV. But like crew at $800 like is just dumb. Like you literally cannot lose money at $200 a box on crew. Like if you're buying a case of Crucible of War for $800, it's an actual no-brainer. Like you literally cannot lose. Like you might lose like $50, but who cares, dude? Like you're opening up $1,000 of cards in most cases, and you're just like la 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 la. Like you're just living the dream there. Like go grade out your hits that you got that are gradable, enjoy life, and just print free money on that. But like that's Flesh and Blood is in a very, very interesting place. Like there's a local collector that I've been kind of like, I've been letting him like dip into my personal supply a little bit, like just stuff that I have that I just don't really have any interest in selling. But like I have some extras of things. I don't mind selling them off to people that I know that aren't going to resell them for me. I made that mistake one time to someone and it just literally tilted me out of my mind. So I generally don't dip into my personal stash that I have. I have some slabs that I have sitting on my desk I don't really care too much about. But generally, like if it's in my personal stash, it doesn't leave. So this guy, what he's trying to do is he's trying to get 2x of every case of Fab, plus he's trying to have all the singles and stuff. He's trying to build out that whole Fab collection. Total mad support, right? And I've been helping him kind of acquire a few pieces here and there. He's like, hey man, I got $1,000 this month. What do you got? I throw him some stuff. I give him a whole list of crap. And then he's like, okay, sure. Let's do this, this, and this. And then that's kind of like how it's been going for a while now. And, you know, we're getting him some good stuff. And I sat him down. I was like, dude, honestly, we're at a point right now. Don't even buy shit from me in like November and December. Like, if you really want these alpha and arc and crew cases, like, this is the time to pick them up. Like, they're getting to a point where it's a little bit dumb. Like, it's $6,000 for an alpha case or $6,500 for an alpha case. Like, I'm just saying, if I wasn't doing something I'm doing right now, I'd be buying some of them cases up right now. Let me tell you, because I gotta open up another alpha case because I still haven't pulled a cold foil legendary from an alpha case because I'm just unlucky. Yeah. Sad days. Anyway, we'll get there though. My goal, actually, I'll make that a goal next year. My goal is to buy an alpha case and open it. I'm going to slice that mofo open. I'm going to cut it up. And I'm going to pull a cold foil legendary out of that bastard. And that's my goal next year. That's one of my goals. I'm going to do that next year. But yeah, guys, seriously, keep an eye on Flesh and Blood. Like, we're hitting that point where prices are starting to get like a little bit dumb. And it's kind of getting sketch that they're that low and they're not getting bought up. It's almost like people are just kind of talking about spending a whole lot of money and just shell-shocking the market because prices are getting a little bit too delicious. And you got to watch out. When they get too delicious, the big whales go, that looks yummy, and they just go gobble, 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 gobble like a turkey on Thanksgiving. My cat, you are a terrorist amongst terrorists. Ugh, dude. Like, look at this thing. Like, look at this. He's He's just like a little terror demon. He's just so fluffy and cute, though. But he's just a little terrorist. How are you so cute? He's just like a little terrorist. Like, look, he's just a little adorable. He's like trying to nose boot me so he can have freedom. Like, so we train him to do that. So that's how he gets freedom. He'll come back and terrorize me. But yeah, guys, keep an eye on Flesh and Blood. Like, seriously, if you don't have alpha cases, if you don't have art cases, if you don't have crew cases, like, we're rolling into a point now where you can probably start throwing some dumb numbers at people, and they're going to say yes. Like, they're hitting that Christmas holiday point. Like, this is the time to be buying. Like, the big money comes out. People are like, oh, I got to pay for Christmas gifts. I got to pay for this. Something broke. Like, it always happens in the next, like, 60 days. 60 to 90 days, actually, to be fair. Because, like, January is also kind of jacked. So, like, ACs and heaters break all the time. Water heaters explode. Pipes freeze. Like, it's that time of the year where shit goes wrong in the most epic ways possible. Or people are just trying to fundraise money for holidays and Christmas and family vacations and stuff. And, you know, there's just not a whole lot of extra work going around because it's holidays. It's all part-time stuff that's been flooded by part-time people anyway. Or it's just like part-time jobs and there's a lot of competition for it because it's holidays and people are trying to make extra money because it's holidays. So these are the times of the year where if you have like some extra cash to go devote and dump into it, this is a good time to buy. So, yeah, keep an eye on that vintage Flesh and Blood, boys. I can't wait to see this. I hope in like 10 years when this video comes back, like someone can be like, dude, look at this idiot saying buy Flesh and Blood. And like that'll be like the mantra for the next few years. And then like in 10 or 15 years, someone can like find this video and be like, oh my God, he said to buy alpha cases at $5,000 a piece. They're 150 now. Oh my God, I should have listened to Timmy. He would have been right. Shucks. Long game, guys. Don't ever forget it. Bye.